It's the beginning of the week, which everyone's getting their mock drafts out. So it's time again for Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft and I mock it, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. And today we have the Draft Network. We start the week off all the time with the Draft Network because they provide the prettiest thumbnails. What can I say? And today's is Damian Parsons. Follow him on Twitter. He's a good follow, knows his stuff. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Baroshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. And special thanks to our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. If you like weekly fantasy, or if you like player prop bets and pick'ems, they don't just do football, they do other sports as well. Check out Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code BROSHMO. Helps the channel out and it hooks you up upon sign up. Bet responsibly. Let's get into this sucker. Oh yeah, this is the current draft order. Obviously not including Monday Night Football yet, but let's get into this sucker. With the Houston Texans, number 1, Bryce Young. He is the best quarterback prospect. Yes, he is. That dude is good. He is the best thrower of the football in this draft. So I think if you're the Texans, yeah, hella crazy if you're like, oh no, let's go with another position. No, you're address the quarterback position. You have the number 1 pick. Take the top quarterback on the board and then go from there. Address the most vital position on the roster. Listen, Davis Mills, that's a fine backup you got there. I'll just say that. On to number 2 here, being the Carolina Panthers. They go CJ Stroud. Obviously, their quarterback is, at least quarterback of the future, is not on the roster as of yet. So we're going to go ahead, take Stroud here. Makes perfect sense. They're going to have a new quarterback or a new coach there in tow. So typically means nice regime change. Usually means they're going to go with the quarterback that they want. Obviously, Baker ain't it. Baker ain't it. Darnold ain't it. And PJ Walker, it was fun while it lasted. On to the Las Vegas Raiders go. Myles Murphy, hold the phone. Over Will Anderson, is there an explanation in tow? I don't see one. The Raiders are a team no one expects to be this high in the draft order, blah, blah, blah. One of the biggest reasons is their underwhelming defense. Chandler Jones is too expensive to have 1 sack. That is true. That is indeed fact. This is interesting. Listen, I like Myles Murphy. Obviously, the production's not on par to Will Anderson, but they are very different prospects in terms of what they provide. Obviously, Murphy has got the size. He's got like 30 pounds on Will Anderson. But Will Anderson has been a freak. He's produced for the last 3 seasons. So this one's just kind of mind-boggling to me. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they choose to pass on Will Anderson as well, and they're going with Broderick Jones, which I like Broderick Jones at least for the Steelers. What I don't like is you're passing on just guys like Jalen Carter and Will Anderson, who are, for some people, 1 and 2 in terms of the top prospects in this class. Broderick Jones, great fit, big bodied, wide base, strong as hell. Very much improved pass blocker, brings that run blocking that this team so desperately don't have right now. But you're passing on 2 better prospects in my regard, in my opinion. So it's like, So 2 strange picks back to back. I will admit that. Detroit Lions are next on the board. I imagine one of these. Well, I imagine it's going to be either Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. In fact, the Detroit Lions do go Will Anderson. It's kind of a no-dub pick. Yeah, you would love to address the offensive side of the football, but you really can't because there's really only 2 quarterbacks that I think are worth top 10 picks. So if you're the Detroit Lions, go with the best prospect available. Oh, hell, it's Will Anderson. Great. Our pass rush blows. We got Aiden Hutchinson, and that's about it. So makes a ton of sense. Arizona Cardinals, they will not go with corner. They go with Tyree Wilson. All right, so honestly, you could go corner or pass rush. I think those are the 2 spots for the Cardinals. Easy, in my opinion. They get a pass rusher who is a bit dynamic in what he can do in terms of his size. He could kind of fill a variety of different roles. He's been super productive the last 2 years there at Texas Tech. He's probably going to be a rare athlete for his size. So, okay, that's cool. We'll address corner later. Though we have been seeing more Myles Sanders recently, so doesn't mean he's producing, but we've seen more of him recently, which is good. Jaguars, Jalen Carter, it's kind of a no-brainer. He makes it to 7. Hell yeah, go take it. The middle of that defense would love that. That's kind of like the last part you would think they need, because they got 2 quality pass rushers. Like obviously, Josh Allen, really good. Gervon Walker, he's shown some promise. So getting the guy to kind of basically be that big space eater in the middle. That's just this dynamic, this explosive. We saw what he did against Tennessee. It just makes a ton of sense. Chicago Bears, they're pairing up Chase Claypool with Quentin Johnston. I do think he is probably the top receiver in this class right now. I get it if you want to maybe pair up Aiden or Jordan Addison with guys like Claypool and Mooney, because he's a bit different in that regard to what they already have. But Johnston's great, man. I have no problem with either pick here. Johnston, a big guy that can create after the catch. I love that. The Green Bay Packers, they go receiver, yay. They go Jackson Smith-Njigba. I mean, I get it. I go Jordan Addison. He's just more dynamic. There's more production to his name. JSN's been hurt this year. You're getting a guy that really could only play in the slot, opposed to Addison, who's proved he could play outside this year. So it's like, I don't know. If you're the Green Bay Packers, I mean, you get a good player. I guess that's good. But I think Addison's just a better pick here. Philadelphia Eagles, this is their first pick via the New Orleans Saints. They go Brian Bresee, probably the best prospect here available. For the Eagles, really, what more can you want? Just grab the best guy available. I think that makes a ton of sense. Brian Bresee, wonderful athlete, could come in and help that interior for the Eagles, add some more depth. They have to make some decisions. At least when it comes to Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave. So it helps. I like it. Seattle Seahawks, Denver. They get this pick via Denver. They're going Gervon Dexter. Ooh, this feels a bit high for Gervon. But yeah, no, I like this. I figure maybe go more like, I don't know. There's just better prospects available. I feel like with their second pick, that's when you can maybe look for that plug in the middle. Maybe Siaki Ika. Gervon Dexter's fine. Gervon Dexter's really good. I like Gervon Dexter. It feels a bit rich here at 11, but I understand it. One of their biggest uh-ohs is kind of the middle of the defense on the line. The Detroit Lions, they go Cam Smith. They just address the defense all out, right? That's fine. If you don't like Will Levis, who's probably the next guy you're going to consider, I kind of talked about why Tanner McKee's probably going to fall a little bit. Though I think Tanner McKee, I'm still thinking about him in the back end of the first. At least Levis, he's got the tools. May not be there yet with him, but you got to take a shot at the quarterback position at some point. And at least Levis has the tools. But Cam Smith comes in here, being the first corner off the board, by the way. So that's interesting. That just shows you, man. Top corner is kind of a toss-up for some people. Like Kelee Ringo he's been all right this year. A lot of people are going to look at the Tennessee game. He's like, he gave up 8 receptions, but they were all under 5 yards, dude. Guys were nickel and diming on him. And then the one time they try to attack deep, he out-muscles Cedric Tillman for an interception. So, yeah, I love Kelee Ringo. That's going to be my guy. But Cam Smith, man, another guy who's this ball hawk, comes in and can play next to Jeff Okudah. And you got that Will Anderson pass rush pairing with Aiden Hutchinson. So that's kind of scary. You got literally, you're working with top 15 picks here at the corner and edge position for the Detroit Lions. So that's kind of hot. Houston Texans, they're going to pair up their quarterback with Jordan Addison. So Addison probably works from the outside, probably be the replacement for Brandon Cooks, who seems he doesn't want to be there anymore. And then you got John Mechie, who obviously Bryce Young did play with. So that's kind of hot. That's kind of cool. I think those are right moves. I think those are right moves by the Texans. Indianapolis Colts just fired Frank Reich yesterday. Kind of sucks, Frank Reich, but it is what it is. They're going with Will Levis. I feel like they have to go with the quarterback of the future with this next pick. I think Irsay will really love a guy like Will Levis. He loves toolsy guys, and Levis is very toolsy. So, yeah, this pick makes sense. Will Levis, again, I start to think about Will Levis, maybe pick 15. He's like a borderline top 20 prospect at this point, maybe even outside of the top 20. He's going to be outside the top 20 for me, but with quarterback value, you know you're going to take those guys a hell of a lot earlier, so acceptable. The Atlanta Falcons go with the next corner on the board being Christian Gonzalez, pairing him up with AJ Terrell. That's great. I love that. Again, no Kelee Ringo. Joey Porter, no Joey Porter here. Christian Gonzalez, though, would be a good fit for Dean Pees' scheme. So there is that. Gonzalez is another guy that he's allowing stuff underneath, but when guys try to test him on the intermediate or deep, because he's a very sticky defender, that he's created forced incompletions. Love to see those turn into interceptions. Like, that's going to be a thing, ball skills that people are going to question. But Christian Gonzalez, man, guy that made Bruce Feldman's freaks list. Then Washington Commanders go, here's Joey Porter. Good pick. They just moved on from Will Jackson. I fully expect to see a new regime in Washington fairly soon. They're sitting at 4-5, so I imagine when they finish with a losing record that they're gonna clean house. I mean, you already got Dan Snyder selling the team, so. But Joey Porter would be a good addition here. And then the New England Patriots go Trenton Simpson. That's very interesting. Let's look at this. I know y'all are probably think, where's the help for Mac Jones or Bailey Zapp? And I could see Bill Belichick's eyes wide open, seeing the athletic and versatile Trenton Simpson on the board. A guy that can disrupt passing lanes. Ooh, I got an update on my Creative Cloud. That's good. Another guy, a guy that can blitz through the A gaps, rush off the edge. Yeah, he provides all that, so that's nice. Okay, you get a versatile linebacker. Trent Simpson, probably far away, probably the top linebacker in this class. I'm not a fan right now of this linebacker class, but yeah, go for it. Side note, haven't seen guys like Peter Skoronski off the board. Haven't seen Olufoshanu. We haven't seen Paris Johnson. Or even Jalen Duncan, because we know the Draft Network are high on Jalen Duncan. So we have the Cincinnati Bengals up. They go Olufoshanu. Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. This guy's built, currently the way he's built at 19, dude, literally, as said here, let me bring it into shot. A guy that's not even scratched the surface. Darn right. Needs to be a better run blocker. He's kind of learning. First year as a starter, but he's already put so well together as a pass blocker that could be a replacement for whether it's Jonah Williams. You could also say Leo Collins hasn't played that well this year, so it's a good pick. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going Isaiah Foskey. So I like this pick, man. They get a guy that's got a nice versatile body type, good high floor, but also a high ceiling. He's long, he's athletic, good burst. So good pick. This is a team that their pass rush has been very underwhelming. With Kelee Ringo on the board, I would consider him. I think it would be a guy that they love. Great size, great athlete, and depending on what they do with Jamil Dean, Sean Murphy Button. Like Jameel Dean actually kind of is in that mold of Kelee Ringo. So if they don't sign him, I fully expect that they could potentially take Kelee Ringo if he's available here at 19. All right, Denver Broncos. This is via the San Francisco 49ers, via the Miami Dolphins. They're going Peter Skoronski. Okay. So they're looking for that right tackle. Again, I think Garrett Bowles could be expendable. Maybe if they consider him that way. We also, Dalton Risner is a guy with an expiring contract, but they have a lot of guys on that interior that could come in and replace him. Like, they have such a deep rotation or just some good depth there on the offensive interior. It's really the tackle positions they could use a bit more help. So Peter Skoronski is great value here at 20. A guy that's just ready to play in the NFL. If he falls, it's because teams don't like his length, teams don't like his he's not an elite athlete. All right. Los Angeles Chargers go Michael Mayer. Listen, man, they're getting good value from Gerald Everett. This isn't ideal. I get it. A lot of the receivers are off the board that you would probably want to take here. But they need a field stretcher. Like Justin Herbert's Dinkin and Duncan. That's what I'm looking for. He's Dinkin and Duncan, dude. A guy with his type of arm strength and arm talent, man. You want him throwing deep more times than not. Like, I get it. Michael Mayer, man, he's a guy that's going to be in a lot of people's top 15s, and he deserves to be. But I don't think this is the right weapon that the Chargers need. Michael Mayer, though, big fan. The Baltimore Ravens go Kayshon Boutte. They get the Boutte here. Get a guy that's wonderful after the catch that can play on the outside. Kick Devin Duvernay into the slot because I like him best when he's in the slot. You actually get a good receiving trio here with Duvernay, with Bateman, and then add Boutte. I know Boutte hasn't been that productive this year, though the production's been a lot better since the whole incident at the beginning of the year. So I like the Ravens going here. Another spot, Kelee Ringo. Marcus Peters is a free agent. Don't know why Kelee Ringo's fallen so hard in this draft. Seattle Seahawks go Noah Sewell. They like having trains at linebacker, so Noah Sewell would be that train. He's a very good athlete at 250. If I'm the Seahawks, is there any other way? Like Kelee Ringo, I think would be my pick just because the value's so good. Pairing him up with Tariq Woolen. You got Kobe Bryant really playing in the slot and doing a really good job of it there. I might go Kelee Ringo. You could also use this pick to maybe take, like, I would say an Anthony Richardson, a guy that can sit behind Geno for a year while you try to develop him. Why not take a shot on a quarterback with ridiculous tools? I think that could be a consideration. The New York Jets go Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson fell. This is great. Snatch him up. Have him be your heir apparent tackle of the future. Elijah Vera Tucker's out there at the right tackle spot. Bring back McGovern. McGovern's playing good fall. Herbig has played very well as well. They're at one of the guard spots. They got Lincoln Tomlinson. He's having a down year. But you got to hope that he'll be better. You spent a lot of money on him, so you got to hope he does better in year two. So I like this. This kind of completes that offensive line for the Jets, and it's a Joe Douglas pick. Kansas City Chiefs go with Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers. Listen, I'm not a fan. A lot of people really dig Zay Flowers, but he's undersized. He's going to be a slot-only guy in the NFL. I don't think he can win it on the outside. And even in the slot, all his stuff is schemed up. Jet sweeps, constantly put in motion to get free releases. I know he can stretch the field. He could create after the catch. I like Zay Flowers better on day 2 or day 3. I really do. Early day 3. That's kind of what he is to me. So not wild about this for Kansas City. I feel like you could address maybe get that next pass rusher here. Kelee Ringo would be a great addition as they right now got rookies going on the outside. So there's that. The Dallas Cowboys go Eli Ricks. Yo, let's go. Ricks has been really good thus far since returning here since he got thrown into the starter lineup for the Crimson Tide. Obviously, he had the really good game against Mississippi State. This week against LSU. If I remember, he was actually fairly solid. He was actually really good. 5 pass breakups. You go, Eli Ricks. Targeted. Hold on. Not 5 pass. He had 1 pass breakup against LSU. He has 5 on the season. He was, for the most part, he was solid against LSU. Yeah, he was fine. Didn't offer much after the catch. We did see the penalties come into play, though. But yeah, Eli Ricks, I think, is a guy that's gonna I think he's gonna finish the year strong and end up being a first rounder. Keep in mind, Kelee Ringo not picked. Don't know what's up with that, but I like this, pairing him up with another former Alabama player in Trevon Diggs. New York Giants go Rasheed Rice. I like Rasheed Rice. I think he's a better day 2 guy, though. A guy that can work inside. He could also work on the outside. Provides good after the catch ability. He's just a competitor at the receiver position. Probably what they were hoping to get immediately from Jalen Tolbert. But grabbing Rice here just to keep sweetening our receiver. Someone to pair up there with CeeDee Lamb. Maybe Tolbert hits. That's great. If he does, you got Rice as well. Gallup is just returned. Hasn't really produced since returning. They had the bye this week, so we didn't really get a chance to see them, but I don't mind it. Tennessee Titans go. Here it is, Jalen Duncan. I knew he'd come around some point. So trying to shore up that left tackle spot, which it's kind of been a hot mess, if we're going to be honest, for the Titans. Just last night, who did they continue to start? Is it Denley out there on the outside? Let's see. Yeah, Dennis Daly. Yeah, and he's been just terrible. He's been awful. I don't think Taylor Lewan's going to be back with the squad. Really, it's like, for me, like I like them targeted offensive tackle. I like that. I think that should be the pick. Nicholas Petit-Frere, he's been fine enough. He's having the rookie woes, but honestly playing better than I'd expect. I assumed they'd probably start him off at guard, at the left guard spot. But him playing right tackle, I think you might have something there. You might. So grab in Duncan, gives you an immediate upgrade there at left tackle. And then the Minnesota Vikings take Anthony Richardson. Here is the biggest twist in this mock draft. The Vikings have a 1-loss season and look to be headed toward the playoffs. Kirk Cousins' contract has a void after 2023. Richardson is physically gifted with a rocket arm. Duh. He's inexperienced as a first-year starter for the Gators, but the ceiling is tantalizing. Yes, it is. He's the biggest enigma right now in this draft class. Imagine him being molded by head coach Kevin O'Connell before taking over the offense with Dalvin Cook, TJ Hawkinson, and Justin Jefferson. Yeah, that would be fun. I don't mind that. I think that's fun. Buffalo Bills, they go Christopher Smith. The safety position's getting old with Poyer and Hyde. They got Hamlin is encouraging. I think Hamlin's been putting up good play. So grabbing another guy that can take the mantle from Poyer and Hyde to kind of cement your safety duo for the future, I think would be key. So I like that. Is this the first safety off the board? I'd be taking Brian Branch or Antonio Johnson. Those would be the first 2 guys off the board in the safety class for me. The Philadelphia Eagles, they get Kelee Ringo. He just falls here. This is ridiculous. I get it. Slay, he is a He's up there in dog years. Bradbury's a free agent after the season. Kelee Ringo would be a phenomenal pick. It's wild that he falls here to 31, but hey, I get it. Some people won't be high on him. Great pick. If you didn't know, Dolphins forfeited their first rounder, so this is why you don't see them with. This is why we only see 31 picks. Also, Dolphins did have another first rounder, but that was via the Niners, and they traded that away. So, all in all, interesting mock draft. It was kind of crazy how the offensive line talent just kind of fell. We saw some surprises here on Rasheed Rice. Obviously, I kind of mentioned Zay Flowers is the one pick I really hate in this mock, but it kind of is what it is. So other guys are gonna feel different ways about other prospects. That's kind of how the draft is. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.